All right. Welcome to the Books, Beards, Booze podcast, where we drink booze, have beards, and talk books. This is our weekly book battle episode, where we talk about what we're reading and writing currently, as well as a debate topic, which this week is, what book do you hate that everyone seems to love? I'm Bob of TalesbyBob.
And I'm Derek of Kessland.
Oh, nice. So, diving in, we always talk about what we are reading, what we're writing currently. Derek, what you reading?
Almost done with Name of the Wind, and I'll start Wise Man's Fear. I read a little bit more on the Marco book. I don't know why I'm forgetting the name of it right now.
I can't remember it either.
Eyes of God, The Eyes of God.
The Eyes of God.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Read a little bit more of that, but only a tiny bit. Just kind of got a wild
I want to love Marco so much.
Yeah.
Like, I just root for that guy so hard, and then I just... Yeah. I read that trilogy, and it's just...
And then I've been reading Wayward, the comic. Been reading that.
Oh, yeah.
Which is I'm a fan of that.
Is it ongoing?
You know, I haven't looked.
Yeah.
Because I meant to look and see if there was another one that I could buy, because I've got the first 4 trades, and I would like to read more.
Yeah.
Let's see, is there anything else I'm reading? Oh, I'm still listening to the audiobook of what is it, Rhaenyra?
Yeah.
Still listening to that,
Theft of Swords is the first one.
Yeah, I'm still listening to that, but I pretty much put that on pause until I did the 2 Rothfuss books, because I wanted to do them at the same time as Superfan Tanya.
Yeah.
And then I'll be going back to that.
Which he finished
Name of the Wind.
Name of the Wind last night.
And it was awesome.
Yep. What am I reading? Alright, well, I read The Last Dawn, which was a reread. I went through a phase when I was younger reading, I think I've read all of Mario Puzo's books except for the one about the Borgias, I think. But I've read all the rest of them. And I went through a real phase, I just loved, Mafia. I just loved reading about the Mafia and stuff like that. And so when we went to the Mob Museum in Vegas, it kind of reminded me of that time in my life. And I went and looked on Amazon, and The Last Dawn was the cheapest Puzo book I could find.
Yeah.
So I got it and reread it, and nowhere near as good as I remember, because I
had seen Goodfellas. Yeah.
Well, no, not to sound... This is going to sound really least, but because I'm a better writer now. I'm not saying I'm a better writer than Mario Puzo. Do not...
No, I got what you're saying.
But, the problem with that book is it... the actual plot... You could... He could have told the plot of that in, 4 chapters, basically. The rest of the book is exposition.
Yeah.
It's oh, well, here's this character. Well, now you get a chapter of their backstory. And, even if...
Which is interesting and all.
It is. It's interesting, but it doesn't necessarily make it a good book. It's an interesting read, not a good novel.
There you go. Okay.
But what I'm reading currently, I'm actually reading 2 books, which was completely unintentional. One, I'm reading Embassy Town by China Miéville, because I like feeling stupid, and China Miéville is a smarter man than all of us. But this is real good so far, and it would be the only book I'm reading, except my Kindle died while I was out. I didn't charge it last night because I'm an idiot. Well, it's one of those deals the battery lasts so long on it that I don't have to charge it every night. I charge it every week or 2.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even think to put on the charger last night. So while I was out doing my free Tiny Library book handout thing, my Kindle died.
So what'd you pick up and start reading?
Well, this girl came by who lives in the area, and she's like, "Oh, I live near here. I'm going to bring you some books back." I'm like, "Oh, cool. I'll be here." And she did. And she brought back Perks of Being a Wallflower, Lord of the Flies.
I haven't read any of them.
Oh, those were both great. Actually, a kid in a church group from California picked up Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was like,
oh, no.
He picked it up, and I was like, well, they'll be in California. They have no way to find out who I am, I hope. So, whoopsie.
Wow.
But it didn't really dawn
Have
on
you
me.
seen the movie?
I haven't, but the book is amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, but a lot of drug usage. Anyway, but she brought an illustrated version of A Monster Calls, I think is the name of it. It's a book that I've wanted to read for a long time, and I think they turned it into a movie here somewhat recently. But the premise behind it is that there's this kid, his mom has cancer, like his parents are divorced, he lives with his mom, she has cancer, his life is shit, he's being bullied, yada yada yada, and this monster starts coming to his room at night and wants to tell him 3 stories, and it's really good. I'm already like halfway through. It's a quick read, but beautifully done, and so I'm excited to get to read that. So I'm going to read it. I'll have it read, and I'll put it in the suitcase for next week. But yeah, that's what I'm reading. Derek, what are you writing?
I'm just gonna until I have a name for the project, I just call it Book 2. That's what it's called in my files.
Yeah.
But I'm writing Book 2.
It was good enough for Song 2 by Blur.
I want to come up with a name because calling it Book 2 makes it sound like it's the second book in the series, and I ain't wrote fuck all, and we all know this. So I would like to call it something else, but I've got it plotted out for the first, I think, 11 chapters now, and then I've went ahead and typed up the first part of it the first, 12, 1,300 words that I had already written. And then this weekend I'm hoping to do at least that much more again at the writing retreat.
Yeah. If you missed the last podcast, the writing group that we do is doing a writing retreat this weekend. It's going to be fun. A lot of writing, a lot of drinking, a lot of just hanging out, talking books.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Writing notes on Capital Nightmare.
Oh yeah,
which I found where I put it.
Good.
And so that's what I've got going.
Cool. I am working on my Marsh stuff. The novella that I had written, it was like 13,500 words. I took that and expanded it to 17,000 some odd words by just going into what I had written, expanding scenes, adding small scenes, adding description, really fleshing it out, adding some meat onto that bone. And now I'm now writing all new stuff, and I'm over 20,000 words on it now. So trying to get it to around 30,000 words or so is the rough goal, and then I can start on the next one. All right. So as we said in the last episode, commercial wise, we're going to start advertising for the sponsors we want to have, and this episode is brought to you by Spam.
I don't support this.
Shut up. Spam is the canned cooked meat of choice in the Books, Beards, Booze family.
Wrong.
Incredibly tasty and versatile, it goes great with virtually everything.
Nope.
Spam egg and cheese biscuit? Bet. Spam musabi? Let's go.
Yeah.
Spam carbonara? Speaking our language. Spam.
Speaking
what's
of
for dinner.
Bob's language.
So good. So before we dive into the actual book battle, we have a bit of viewer mail that harkens back to last week's episode. Last week's episode, we asked who is the best comic creator currently active. And our pal Les wrote in to say this. For my 2 cents, I think the best comic creator working today is Tom King. He's relatively new, so I wouldn't be surprised if you're unfamiliar with his work. 99% of it is under the DC label, so much of his comics are of the superhero genre. The one exception is the phenomenal but hard to read because of its subject matter, The Sheriff of Babylon. He is currently writing what might be the best run on Batman to date and has the limited series Mr. Miracle and The Vision that have my highest recommendations. Well, clearly, Les is wrong because it's superhero comics, and fuck that.
And because he said it might be the best Batman to date. And
he has been talking up this Batman for a while. Like Les is, I don't know shit about shit.
I do. We'll see. I'll have to read it. We'll get back to you on that.
But so he also said this. Here's a topic question related to comic books, which I didn't think it was long enough for us to turn into a full episode, but we're gonna tackle it now real quick. Who do you think is the best artist currently working in comic books? Or is there someone you think works extremely well with a particular writer?
Chris Samnee.
My money is on Frank Quietly, especially when he's paired with Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Ben Templesmith, especially when he's paired with Stephen Niles.
Yeah.
30 Days of Night, Criminal Macabre.
Morrison and Quietly did a really good Batman and Robin run when what's his name? Nighthawk. Oh my God, this is gonna. Nightwing, not Nighthawk. Sorry, Nightwing. The first Robin. Why am I blanking on his name? Whatever. When he took over for Batman, because Batman was quote unquote dead, and then he had Damian as his Robin.
Yeah.
They had a really good, interesting run. I've got the first trade of it in my.
Something with a J. Jason.
No, you're thinking Jason Todd. That was the second Batman, or the second Robin. The third was Tim Drake, and the first was.
Well, someone's a shitty comic book fan.
This is so easy. How am I not getting this?
Get it together, Derek. Jesus, call yourself.
Oh my God! I think I might be broken.
Right now, I think if we were at the comic book shop, the owner who loves you so much would kick you out right now.
No, he wouldn't. I'd give him more money. Oh my God! Why am? You keep talking about your people, and I'm going to remember this.
I would say Ben Templesmith, especially when he's with Stephen Niles. Ben Templesmith has, I would argue, possibly the most distinctive artwork style in comics. Like, I can literally think of no one who arts like him. The thing is, he's now mostly doing creator-owned stuff, like even like self-publishing a lot of it. But I actually just ordered a book of his. It should be in tomorrow. The Squitter, which is like very Cthulhu. He does good.
Dick Grayson.
Oh, there you go.
Jesus.
Feel better now?
No. How did it? I'm so mad. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah. No. And he's done some of my favorite. Like he was the original artist for Criminal Macabre, one of my all-time favorite comics. He did the art for 30 Days of Night, which is amazing. He did both of those with Steve Niles. And then he does Gentleman Wormwood, which is amazing. And then, like I said, I just got the Squitter coming in. Like, he's good. He's got another one called Singularity 7, which I haven't read, but that's going to be the next thing I order, I think. I'm trying to get all the Templesmith, because... Oh, yes, he did Fell with Warren Ellis, which was amazing. But yeah, so Ben Templesmith is my favorite.
My favorite is Chris Samnee. Him working with a particular person, not particularly him with anyone I'll read. He did a great run on Daredevil with Mark Waid. His sketches are things that I've looked at and just pined after for years and years, and I desperately want one. I love his style. It's super clean, not hyper stylized.
Does it seem like it's going somewhere? Like, is it somni-directional?
And then, so he did a run on I think Captain America that I liked.
Didn't you tell me was he the one that did Death of Captain America?
No.
I know you mentioned that recently.
No, he didn't. That was more the writer. Ed Brubaker.
Oh. That's right.
Who was working? I can't remember the artist that was...
We talked about Brubaker last time.
Right,
though,
yeah. But other than that, I would say that maybe my favorite on par with him was, rest in peace, Darwin Cook. But he has passed now, so I can't use him. But Darwin Cook is the one that did that... Parker omnibus that I have.
Oh,
I love that really artsy, really
very minimalist
cartoony.
You like real minimalist.
I love minimalist art. So that's kind of him, and then I also like David Aja or Aja. I forget how to say it. And then I also like
who did Planetary?
That
was good.
Oh shoot, that was the same guy, John Cassidy. Same guy that did the Whedon X-Men run, Astonishing X-Men.
Neat.
But yeah, and then also Cliff Chang, when he did, I haven't seen much of his, even though I know he's a big name.
He'll leave you guessing. He's full of Cliff Changers.
But when he was doing the New 52 Wonder Woman story, good God, I loved that arc. And anytime he drew anything to do, I don't know if it turned out
I feel
well.
like I used that pun too soon. I could have said it ended on a real Cliff Changer.
I'm gonna smack you. But like, I don't know if the story turned out well or not. But him drawing that comic in that story, where like they had these really interesting new depictions of the gods of Olympus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
God, it was so interesting. I
Follow-up
loved it
question.
so much.
Let's say you had a comic idea.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you want to be the artist on it?
It would depend on the idea. Because if it was a really dark idea, then maybe you go for somebody like
Ben Templesmith.
Ben Templesmith, or the guy that did Scalped, who I'm blanking on the name right now.
I actually have a comic book idea that I've actually storyboarded.
Mm-hmm. Which
and
one?
You know my TalesbyBob story.
Yeah.
The idea was it was supposed to be a monthly series with each one as a self-contained story.
Yeah.
It was going to be called Bob Macabre Presents. And the first one was a retelling of the TalesbyBob story, which I ended up just writing as a short story.
Yeah.
But I've always envisioned that as arted by Ben Templesmith.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it would depend on what the art style, because if you want to have like any kind of levity in it, then I think people like the artists that I like a lot, the Somni, and if Cook was still alive, because they do a very minimal cartoonist.
His name is
style.
Darwin Cook.
Yeah, it's a great name.
Two famous explorers of the Pacific.
But yeah, it's
neat.
Yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Okay. Well, so let's dive in on our question, and it's, what book do you hate that everyone seems to love?
I'm going to go first because I don't have a great answer.
Okay.
I was going to tease everyone and just be like, fuck Harry Potter, but I haven't read Harry Potter, so I can't really do that.
Right.
And I don't think I would even if I did.
Yeah.
I have problems with the series, but not enough for me to be like, oh, this is bad.
I think you'd like them.
I'm sure I would.
I don't think you'd...
I've read the first audiobooks of the first 2 and a half or something like that.
You would, you wouldn't be a fanboy, but you'd like them alright.
But, and this isn't one that like, oh my god, everyone loved, but one that has generally gotten good reviews, and even of the other person on this couch that liked it, and I absolutely hated it, and it's The Mirror Empire.
Okay. Alright, well, you're a trash human being. And
hate that book. That is the book that I am most surprised I made it through.
Yeah.
I am so surprised I actually finished it. Because I did nothing but complain the entire time I read it.
I mostly read that just to prove you wrong.
Just to spite me.
Just to spite you. And it turned out that I did actually genuinely enjoy it.
Yeah.
It was not mind-blowing.
It had parts of it that I liked, but it was
definitely a solid book that I would like. I need to reread it. And I doubt the other books are out.
I'll look later. But I looked it up, and nothing but pretty strong reviews. And I'm just like, I did not see it. I really don't.
Huh.
Other than saying they tried for a really ambitious story, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was executed very well.
I low-key thought that you might say, was it Oathbreaker? The new...
I considered it, but I know the problem. I know what the problem was, and I know that if I could have made it like one more chapter, I would have gotten back into the part that I like.
Yeah.
And I got hung out, and I'll have to start it again at some point.
Yeah. Were you audiobooking that, or?
Yeah. So I've still got my spot saved, so I might just start where I was and struggle through the next chapter.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, I went to Tor Books' website today looking for news, and they're doing a reread of that book.
Huh. I also saw where, like, apparently somehow, I think if you pay like the $40 to join some organization that runs the Hugos, I guess it's Science Fiction Writers of America, you get to vote on the Hugos, and they give you like the books that are in the running kind of deal.
That's pretty awesome.
But they're like watermarked ebook versions or something like that.
Ebooks.
Yeah, it's all ebooks. Yeah, I mean it's $40.
That's fair. I mean,
but it apparently the
had a Kindle.
The Stormlight books are in, like all 3 Stormlight books are in there for some reason. I don't know why. But it's like all 3 Stormlight, like 17 Hugo nominees, and something else was weird that was in there. I was like, why is that in there?
I'm pretty sure I can guess 2 of your answers, but
Okay.
I'll tell you if you...
Quick fallback to what I'm reading. I forgot to say that I'm also listening to the audiobook of Rhaenyra, Revelations.
Second duology.
No, I'm on the last book. Okay. I'm on the book 6, which is the third.
Does it ramp
audiobook.
up, or is it just kind of same?
Oh, it is.
I mean, good. I enjoy what I've listened to it of it.
Yeah, it's one of those deals like you piece together what's coming on the horizon long before anyone else does.
Yeah.
So you know that this
like,
thing
oh, no!
this thing is happening in the background, and it's been happening in the background for
5 books.
Yeah, your first hint of what's really happening, like there, you could kind of view it as there's 2 schemes almost going on, and like one is blatantly obvious in book 1 and moves on.
Yeah.
But has resolved itself by the beginning of book 6. The other one, you pick up the first hints of it in book 2, and it comes to a fucking. It right now it's
currently in the
what the fuck? Yeah. Oh my god, they're all gonna die. is where I'm at right now. Is the death of everyone. So yeah. Okay, so you want to let me hear your guesses.
No, because I don't want to give you ideas and make you pick them. I'm pretty sure
I have three written down.
I'm pretty sure I can guess 2 of them, but I'll tell you, I'm not gonna say
Mistborn.
Okay, didn't see that one.
Okay, and let me be fair. It's solidly written. There's no problems with the plot. There are no problems with those books. There are, like, structurally, no problems with those books. Like, nothing glaring. Here's my why I don't like it. 1, I was promised a heist, which I did get in the book, in the first book. But it's like, if book 1 is a heist, I kind of expect there to be heisty elements in the rest of the books, and it ain't none. And, like, that's okay. What I could have dealt with that, that's fine. Like, in Rhaenyra, like, none of the books are heist books, but there are a lot of heisty elements in it, So, but the bigger issue is that setting is the most depressing fucking setting in fantasy. It's a miserable world to live in.
How is it worse than Warhammer?
Warhammer, you can at least have a garden. Like, Warhammer, there are people there that live happy, productive lives beginning to end. Mistborn...
the beginning to end just happens to be 6 years.
Yeah. But you can have six good years.
6 solid years.
Yeah. But, like, if you're not a noble, your life is abject misery. Like, even, like, the people whose lives aren't actively terrible have miserable lives. But, like, 99% of people, their lives are actively terrible. And, like, everyone is on the cusp of just all dying at every moment. Like, it's bleak. It's, like, even visually, it's bleak, Like, it's... Warhammer's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous world. It's Europe. It's Europe just where everyone kills everyone.
Jeez. That was racist.
Don't even. But Mistborn. Those books get... I mean... I think everyone in our writing group has read them.
I think so.
I don't know if Les has, but I know Lacey has.
Yeah, actually, now you mentioned, I'm not sure he has either.
Brandon has. You have. Yeah. I have. And honestly, like, it's a testament to Sanderson's ability that I stuck with it after, like, getting into book 2 and realizing it wasn't going to be a heist. Like, book 1 was my favorite because heist, and then everything after that.
Book 1 was just the best.
Yeah. But, alright. So that was number 1. Number 2, Wheel of Time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not a fan. If he could have cut it from the 10 books that I read, if he could have cut it down to 7. If he could have cut it down to 7 books and then have Sanderson come in and write the final 3, I'd have been all in.
You wouldn't have been all in.
I wouldn't have been all in, but I would have been a lot more in. Yeah. Because, like, it's one of those deals, like, the plot too frequently takes too long to get to where it's going. Mm-hmm. And I hate all the characters. So you either need to give me characters I like enough to make it through the slog to get to where we're going, or you need to make the slog enjoyable enough that I don't care how annoying the characters are. Yeah. And to me, it's just, I hate everyone except for Lan.
Because Lan is the best.
And Lan is not in every scene doing everything. Lan cannot carry 14 books of bullshit on his shoulders. Like, close.
I was going to say, his face would say otherwise with his stony gaze.
So, here's something that I don't remember. I was on fantasy subreddit. Gray Men. Mm-hmm. I did not remember them at all.
They're fucking fascinating. I love the idea of them.
Did not... Like, it's been so long since I read those books.
I've used that general idea and stuff.
And I read where, like, apparently, most of the time, people read right over the mentions of the Gray Men. Because Jordan would bury throwaway mentions of them in, like, huge blocks of description. Yeah. And so people, a lot of times, would just read right over that there's a Gray Man there, which is fucking genius. Yeah. And
that's
right there, that's neat.
That is literally that exact moment is the reason I love using description in books. Because I think you can do really interesting things if you execute things in an appropriate way. Yeah. That's why I always, my whole, it's a good idea, but you didn't execute it right. It's because of that. Because that is fucking perfect.
Yeah, that was awesome. Final, my number 1, playing exactly off what you just said, American Gods.
Okay.
American Gods. Amazing concept. I don't like the execution. I had a chance to buy it on sale on Amazon yesterday, and I didn't. Because I'm not going to read that fucking book again. Yeah. I'm just not. Like, I don't care that I can get it for like $1 right now. I'm not going to read it again.
Hot take that if you listen to our stuff recently, it's not going to surprise you. I've decided I'm just not in on Neil Gaiman. He's just not for me. Like, he has cool ideas, and I can appreciate those, but like execute the way it executes, it's just not for me.
Who did you think I was going to say?
I knew the Wheel of Time, and I actually think I was thinking Mistborn, and then forgot what I was thinking because I remember we had a conversation, and I think that was the other one you mentioned. I knew Wheel of Time for sure. But I couldn't remember what the other one that I was thinking was. I'm thinking it was actually this one. But
typically, I'm not really a contrarian on most books.
Unless I like them a lot.
I tend, like, it's not like me being a contrary fuck. It's legitimate reasons. Like, Mistborn is the book equivalent of, like, watching, like, Sons of Anarchy or like,
after season 3.
Yeah, like the thing about I quit watching shows like that because like nothing good ever happens, and it's bleak and depressing. It's like, I don't know, Sons of Anarchy. Maybe you quit selling guns because it's not making you that much money, and you're all going to jail or dying. So maybe it's not worth it. There's a thought. Just stop. But anyway, so Mistborn is too depressing of a setting. I don't like the setting. And Wheel of Time, if it was shorter, I would be a lot more invested in it. It just takes too long to get to where we're going. And then American Gods, amazing concept. He just told the wrong story with that concept. Like, great concept. What he chose as the story in that concept was the wrong... Like, that's not the story I would have told. I don't know precisely what story I would have told, but it wouldn't have been that one.
I didn't even mind the story that he told, the War of the New Gods and the Old. It makes perfect sense in the context, and I think it's a great story, but I don't like the way he presented it. But
I
again,
do want to read.
I'm
I do
just
want to
not
read
a
Anansi
fan.
Boys though, because from everything I've ever heard,
If
you don't like American Gods, you like Anansi Boys, and vice versa.
Right.
Very few people like both, it seems. So, yeah. That's all I got really.
It's mostly. I can't. Most of the books that I've read that are really enjoyed, people tend to.
I'll say that, like, Codex Alara, pretty much anyone I've seen.
That's the other one.
Codex Alara, okay.
No, not Codex Alara.
Oh, Dresden?
Dresden.
Dresden. Okay,
that was the other one.
I am going to give Dresden another chance. I had the idea recently that me and you should both read that book at the same time.
Good. I've got.
It was my idea. You never once mentioned that.
Oh, you just die.
But no, everything, like, if you can't tell, I've been spending a lot of time on Reddit, fantasy, and everyone seems to swear is like, look, they're quick reads. If you stick with it through the first 3 books, it gets amazing. But he's still learning what he's doing in those first 3 books, and so just stick with it. So I am definitely going to give it another try. I got a club brother of mine that is a Dresden fanatic.
We've talked about that other series of his that I just am a real big fan of.
Cinder Spires.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, that's great. Yeah, I love that. Cinder Spires is great. And Codex Alara, I love the first 3 books. I've never seen anyone that's like, I got to book 3 and just stopped reading them. I think I'm the only person. Because I saw the direction, like,
and
the type of villain that they're dealing with is a type of villain I don't like reading. So I was like, all right, I'm done. I've read Coolness. I got what I wanted. He's talking about writing like a prequel series, which I think I would like a lot more. Yes.
Is this the ultimate answer that we just didn't think of? The Malazan books?
Oh, God. No.
Because there are a lot of people that hate it,
there are a lot. And that's why, like, my number 1 is, like, American Gods. Is like my number 1. Well, actually, really, Mistborn is probably my number 1 answer, for real. But, like, American Gods, it got made into a fucking TV show and whatnot. So, but Malazan has, I would say, as many haters as lovers. So
there's 2 haters sitting on this couch right now.
Yeah, I'm also the only person that I know of that I've ever saw that, like, I read 9 of the 10 books and never read the last one. Yeah. So
reading the last one isn't going to change your opinion on the other 9.
No, it's not. I just wikied it because I was like, I can't slog through another one of these books. Like, I physically had all those 9, and so I was like, God damn it. I can't not, but fuck. So yeah. Anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Fuck Malazan.
There's so much. We need to do our Malazan episode at some point.
Maybe that can be one of the bonus podcasts that we do on our off week. Quick follow up: if you missed it on the last episode, and we'll bring it up again. We're on week 12 of 14 that we have planned out. After that, we're taking 2 weeks off, where we're only just going to release bonus podcast episodes. They won't be structured like this, while we sit back and really analyze what we're doing, what we like, what we don't like, what y'all don't like, and we're going to work on a recording method as well. We got a new method that we want to try and see if we can't up the quality a bit. But we'd really like to hear your input on what do y'all like of these podcasts, what do you not like, what do you want to see more of, what do you want to see less of. Yeah, you can shoot us an email, booksbeardsbooze@gmail.com, or any sort of TalesbyBob social media. You can message that and I'll get it, and we'll handle it. Other than that, I just, in the coming week, I ask that you go forth and grow a great beard.